Well, to give you a feel for the Ananda organisation, founded by Swami Kriyananda, well, he would say by his guru, of course, but Guru had been long gone from the planet. Guru died in 53, I think. Could have been 1952. Anyway, I'll just read this to you on pages I referred to earlier, but on page 136 to 137 of At the Feet of a Saint. Right, hold with it for a while. It's not very long, a few minutes. Feeling our sadness that we knew he would die soon, this is, that he would leave. He shared how hard it was for him to leave Ananda Moema while he was in her presence. This is an Indian, she was worshipped as a goddess actually, but we'll say saint, shall we? Couldn't depart. Finally, when she physically withdrew, this is Ananda from him, he was able to leave. The magnetism of a great spiritual being is very strong. He encouraged us also to develop that magnetism within ourselves. It's not presumptuous, he said, to aspire to be a saint. Feel pure in your heart and know that you only want him being. Not the guru now, we're now talking about God, okay? Capital H for him in the cultural, literary language that people write in. Don't see people as separate from yourself. Realize that everyone wants what you want, though they may be seeking it in ways that won't bring it to them. If you look at them with that thought, you can't help loving them. And close quotes, and the writer says, he wept at this point. And continuing the quotes, this love is the one thing you can give away and never become poor in the giving. When you can see God in this way, you love people naturally. When you have that love and inner joy, people will feel it. That's what they want. It isn't you they want. It's a reminder of what they have inside. What we all love and what we all want is that one self. That's your answer. I can't leave. I can't leave you because you're always there. And Swamiji at this point touched his heart again. And that's the only thing that was ever there in the first place. Live more in that awareness. And that's the end of a little section in that chapter of the book. You see, when you come across devotion, there's something lovely about it in itself. You might come across a person who's intensely patriotic, devoted to his country. That might not be your drift of what you should be devoted to by any means. But somehow there's a fineness about the intention. And it's as if it's the quality and drive of the intention rather than its object that you can definitely appreciate. So I suppose, reflecting on what I've said about the complexity of the person rather than our simplification of such, this is an example of that, isn't it? That there's an aspect of personhood that may not be associated with the values that you have, but are wonderful as an aspect of personhood. Yes. So I see someone who's being fiercely protective and angry and violent. The anger and the violence and the fierceness looked at separately are not things that I'm drawn to like a magnet. And yet I can take from it an impression of devotion and passion that is what personhood is about, in part at least, you see. So one can come on the scene with compassion now, not just for the victim of this violent soul, but for the violent one as well. Because, well, personhood is wonderful. Life is to be greatly valued. And as I said, from my drift on understanding of John 17, Jesus praying in the story, well, his whole emphasis is God is Father. That's the giver of life. And that our goal is eternal life. Well, then we're valuing that as our goal. Life. Our life. Because life is so valuable to us. We want it. And if we love all, we want it for all. And recognize it and value it wherever we find it. Sure, we need to come to its rescue, that it has a more enlightened view of who they are. And a simplistic way of encouraging that is to say we are children of God, an infinite, wonderful being, who loves us such that we will become as him. Wow. I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have delivered unto him against that day. What have we delivered? Our devotion, our hearts. Love you, Heavenly Dad. Thank you, Dad. Now you may find this sort of passion for God, this imaginary being, as repellent. But on the other hand, the earnestness, the passion, the love. Oh yes, we value that. It's just that it's got to have the right object. Yes, but what I'm saying is that the right object personified is our Heavenly Dad. Because he personifies what we truly value, which is life. And well, quite simply the way we hope life to be. And that's almost a contradiction in my mind, because I'm thinking we hope it to be more wonderful than we can imagine. And that's where the sort of bizarre foundation of trust finds its place, doesn't it? I don't know. But when I choose to trust that it is so, do I find even the life here is incredibly blessed? At least seemingly as a consequence. Well, in which case I'm not going to budge, am I? I'm going to play it for all it seems to be worth. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.